Good morning, everybody. It's March 5, quarter to 10. I have been here for a little bit. I didn't get here that late, but I did get here kind of later than usual than I've been getting. Something I just now learned is there was a few places in here that I glued because the gap was a little much, and I just filled it in with glue, so it'd be a little bit of a waterproofer, and like if water were to get down in between, and it will hold the pieces together so they don't squeak. I sanded it with 150 grit, but I guess it didn't. It appeared to have gotten it off from what I could see, but I guess it did not get it off. So when I put the sealer on there, it highlighted it, and the glue has speckles of sawdust all through it, and so I had to go back and sand it all again, and I sanded it with like 50 grit or something, like 40 or 60 grit, I don't know, something really thick. Got the glue off and then resealed it. And the reason why I discovered that is I thought, oh, this morning I'm going to go ahead and seal it again real quick, let it sit for a couple hours, then move the toilet in there. That way it'd have 2 layers of sealant. But no, got into a whole nother project. That's done. It's sitting there drying. So my job today is to try to get the sink in here and cut the butcher block and fit it and all that stuff. So first thing I need to do is I need to build an end cap right here, so this will have something to rest on. Second of all, I have no idea how I'm going to put this farm sink in here. I'm thinking we may end up having to change our plans. We may have a very expensive farm sink just sitting on our hands for now. For some reason, I thought there was a false drawer that went across there, because farm sinks usually protrude out. So I'm going to have to do some math. My first thing is to get this stable, then to cut the butcher block the exact length I have, so I know exactly how things sit on here, and then I'll get to the sink. But the farm sinks usually protrude out, and they usually are down pretty far down here. So I don't know how this is gonna work. These are 24 inches deep, and I just checked the farm sink, and it is it's about 19 and a half. So that only leaves me 3.5 inches to play with over here if I were to drop it down inside. But if I drop it down inside, then I have nowhere to put the faucet at the back. Oh, I think we may end up having to switch our whole scheme and not have a farm sink, because that farm sink is heavy too. I couldn't sleep this morning, so I woke up and I was researching. I said those farm sinks, a lot of times when they're full of water, 300 pounds. That butcher block's probably a couple hundred pounds, close to it. I don't know, it's pretty heavy. And this is just junk cabinetry from Home Depot, you know. So I would have to definitely reinforce a lot of it, but I just don't know if it could hold it. So I'm going to have to talk to Valentina and see what she thinks. Alright guys, I really got thrown for a loop this morning. I came all motivated and ready to do this sink and everything, and that seems to not be working out. And I talked to Valia about that, and I think we've decided we'll try to return that sink or something, I don't know, or we'll just hold on to it for another house. But that it is not going to work in this one. Okay, right there. It's not going to work here. That's made to poke out the front of the cabinet, which means I can't have my cabinet doors that high. If I would have had a false front there, then it would have been different, but there's not a false front. So anyway, just catching you up on what I've done so far is I went ahead and sealed this and let it dry, and now I got a toilet in here, not put together, but kind of set up here for the plumber when he gets here. It's a tight fit. It's only 16 inches from there to there. So I put it at a little angle, which would help about a half an inch or an inch. But we may end up just turning it back and putting it the way it's supposed to be. Actually, let me go ahead and do that. That's probably for the best that it just goes the way we designed it. It's a tight fit. Not in here a long time. Well, it's been very little of your time in this, hopefully, in the bathroom. Then I pulled one of these guys out from over there in the closet, and I turned it upside down because these were in cardboard boxes, but they were under the house, and that gets wet down there. So everything that was touching the ground was wet through the cardboard. So I took my belt sander, sanded this to kind of get the rough, yucky stuff off. And then the stuff that I've been sealing this floor with, I brushed it around here to try to seal that, and I'm just letting that dry. So hopefully that will do something to help cure that. And I think we'll probably end up having to paint this again. But that will go right here. So I was trying to just kind of move stuff around so I have more room in there. Then a rough version. This is not done yet. I need more. I found 2 corner guys, metal pieces, and I need one here and one over here. And what I did was just to get a rough. Oh, that thing fell a while ago. Oh man. Well, that wasn't put together to stay. But what I had done was I put these guys like this just to tie it together. And I guess a while ago it fell, and I guess it broke the pieces off. Here's the other piece. So anyway, I wanted to make a square. We'll paint that. I think I sanded it down pretty good. And there's only part of it, only the very front part will show right here. The rest will be against the refrigerator. But I want to get a rough estimate to see how far this is going to go this way. I think it's going to be 12 inches that I got to cut off that end and move it. And then this will end up dead on the top of this. However, I'm having a hard time pulling the trigger, so I'm letting myself get a little bit sidetracked. And I came over here, and this was the very first section that I started putting the wood floor. And I went back and noticed I didn't do nearly as many screws as I did on these other ones. So I started stepping around, and it was crackling and stuff. Not crackling necessarily, but a lot of uneven. So the tricks that I learned doing the rest of the floor, I implemented them back over here, and it helped even things out a lot. Really helped. So I just sanded that and some highlights there, some of it. We've already sanded this once and sealed it, so I really shouldn't have done that, but I put some glue in some places, and it just unevenness. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and we've walked on a lot. So I sanded it a bit, vacuumed it, and then I'm going to seal it, sanded it, and now I'm going to seal it again, because what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and start landing everything on this wall the way I want it, and that'll help me really know. That's why I was afraid to do that, just in case something over here is not what I think it is, and it ends up throwing off. I'm like, oh, I didn't account for that. So just making sure. So Valentina helped our daughter Nicole and her boyfriend Bren paint their little 12 by 12 shed down there, and they took my roller stuff, which made life so easy to roll this and seal it. Covered. It was made for it. It just did a great job. Well, that stuff's all missing, so now I'm using a paintbrush that Valentina was using on the butcher block to seal. So that takes a little bit longer. I don't like it so much. But one thing is I'm able to just dip it in the hole through the top of the bucket because it's still high enough up there. That's, I guess, one good thing. I don't have to pour it out. Every time I poured it out, I made a real big mess. I didn't care. It got all over the floor. All it does is seal the subfloor, I guess. This stuff is also doesn't have to be great because it's pretty much going to be under cabinets and stove. There is going to be a little makeshift office down here at the end, so you will see a little spot where you're going to be putting your feet on the ground between cabinets. I see these gaps that I could have really tied together, and I was just learning and didn't know what I could do, what I was capable of with the floor jacks, and how to best way to operate them and all that. So it is what it is. I mean, this is a good place. That's why I kind of started in this corner, because I knew most of it was going to be covered. But it would have been nice to pull this stuff together. I put a little bit of glue down here so it'll fall through the crack and kind of keep that bonded and not creaking. But pretty much we're not going to be walking on it anyway, so you won't know. All right, I've been pretty happy with our electricians so far. They've been doing a good job. They're a bit slow, but they do everything to code, passed right away, and all that stuff. First time I'm a little bit disappointed. They were here and all they did was come to put this in. I think last week. This is where I feel like really veteran, and the dad is a veteran. He's training his son, but I feel like he's been an electrician for a while. You would think to check here. I've had the oven for a long time. It's been sitting here. It was sitting here when they did this. They could have put this sideways so that this cord could stay down here. Now it's up like this, which means it pushes up against this and pushes it way out off the wall, and there's just nothing I can do about it. I took the faceplate off to see if something simple I could fix, but it's not. And they were here for a while, so I know they struggled with it. The son was doing it. He was struggling with it. He was here for a while, so I don't want to take a chance doing it myself. But anyway, if this would have aimed either way, this cord would have fit just perfectly under here. The whole oven could have went right up against the wall. Now, this pushes up and is against here and pushes it way off the wall. That's the one thing about Roger. When he was helping me, there was certain things that he would tell me that helps the electrician, helps the plumbers. And so he did things a certain way as a contractor. And that's what I feel like that's a qualification you need to be a good plumber or a good electrician, is to think about these things, to know about these things. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to go ahead and put all this away here. See, this is up against the wall, so it keeps this off the wall too much. And I got to shove it up in here because I don't want my cabinets up against it here. I guess that's it. All right, well. This oven really scratches the floor up a lot, so I don't like moving it. And the feet really sink into the floor because it's so heavy. But you can see this Z'd out right here. So I'm going to try to sand that now that I kind of have it where I want it. Sand it with a thicker grit and try to take that down. It has been a very odd day. To say the least. It's been kind of weird. I don't know. I've put this up now, and I changed. We were going to put an 18-incher here. Instead, I went with the 21 and the 27. And this is going to be kind of our desk area. I didn't like the way we had it before, so we have two 18s left that we can use as an island. We're going to discuss ideas. There's also, we can buy another cabinet, like a 12-inch or a 9-inch. But this thing has to go on it, and it has to fit so the island is also going to be our eating spot. So it needs to be small enough that we can, the cabinets have to take up little as room so that we have this sitting on top. We have a place to sit at it and put our legs underneath the edge and not be weird. Like, it can't be, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, you got to have room for your legs to go underneath, like a table. Then I had to scoot this down because it didn't reach all the way. This ended up being shy, like to here. It was like almost 3 inches or so short. So Valentina didn't like that. I probably would have left it, but she said move everything down, so I did, which takes this cabinet way away from the wall. Anyway, Bren came out, and he actually has a stainless steel well, it's composite on the outside, I guess, some kind of, but it's got a stainless steel finish on the inside. Big sink, nice and light. It'll fit this. If Valentino likes it, we'll just buy it off of him because he doesn't want it. That sink's just way too heavy, as I said. I don't like stainless steel. I'd rather have something else, but because they have a black composite one at Home Depot that I think I like the look of it. We'll see. Anyway, that ceiling, this is sealed. Put that toilet in there, like I said. I'm wrapping it up. I'm going home earlier. I'm not going home. I'm going to Home Depot to buy some stuff. Last night, or a couple nights ago, when we were doing these shelves, I ended up doing this first row and putting holes for these brackets. And then after I got halfway putting the brackets, then I was like, oh wait, this is too low for the faucet. Faucet's gonna bang it. So I need to go get spackling, and I want to, we're going to take a piece of butcher block and put it between here and here. So I want to drill those holes like here and put those little wood dowels with glue on them. And then I just bought a clamp, and I'm going to clamp it together like this to make it one solid piece. So I need to go get the dowels. There's some odds and ends things I need to go there and buy to keep moving forward. All right, it's looked like it's been really windy today. It rained last night and was windy. It's been crazy weather. So hopefully that's all gonna calm down. Tomorrow's supposed to be windy. We'll see what happens. Anyway, we're getting there. It's just, things come up. Oh, so I bought this end piece for here. So we gotta paint it, but it goes on here because it would look like this. But then I didn't think about these being like this, so I probably need to go buy 2 more of these to put in there. It's up to Valentina. I almost wouldn't mind just painting with this paint and leave it. And just let this be the end cap. All right, guys. Enough rambling. I will see you guys the next time I'm out here.